Few careers shift as suddenly as Bill O'Reilly's did. For decades, he was one of television's most recognizable voices. Then, almost overnight, everything changed. Welcome to the channel Fame Express. For many viewers, Bill O'Reilly represented a certain era of cable news. Confident, direct, and often controversial, he built a massive following through his long-running program on Fox News. At his peak, he wasn't just a host. He was a nightly ritual for millions of Americans. But behind the familiar studio lights, a different story was slowly unfolding, one that would eventually reshape his public image and leave many longtime fans quietly stunned. Before the headlines and sudden exit, O'Reilly's rise had been methodical and impressive. Born in New York in 1949, he worked his way through local journalism, sharpening the assertive style that would later define him. By the late 1990s, the O'Reilly Factor had become one of the most watched programs in cable news history. His appeal was simple but powerful. Viewers knew exactly what they were getting, strong opinions delivered with unwavering confidence. Supporters admired his directness. Critics often challenged his tone. Yet through it all, his audience remained remarkably loyal. Still, even at the height of his success, small signs of turbulence appeared. Media scrutiny grew. Public conversations around workplace culture and accountability were evolving. And slowly, pressure began to build in ways that were not immediately visible to viewers at home. The turning point came in 2017. Following public reports about past workplace complaints and settlements involving O'Reilly, Fox News announced his departure from the network. The decision was swift and, for many viewers, deeply surprising. After more than 2 decades of dominance, one of cable news' most familiar faces was suddenly gone. The reaction was complex. Some supporters expressed disappointment and confusion. Others felt the moment reflected broader changes happening across the media industry. What was clear, however, was that the television landscape had shifted, and so had O'Reilly's career path. What many casual viewers may not realize is that O'Reilly did not disappear entirely. Instead, he pivoted. In the years following his exit from traditional television, he focused on digital platforms, podcasting, and writing. His Killing Book series continued to perform strongly, showing that a dedicated audience still followed his work. Yet the transition was not without challenges. Moving from the dominant platform of cable news to the more fragmented digital space required adjustment. The nightly visibility he once commanded was different now, quieter, more niche, and less culturally central than during his Fox News years. For a figure once at the very center of political media, that shift carried an emotional weight many observers could sense. And perhaps that is what some longtime viewers find most striking. Not simply the controversy, not even the career change, but the contrast between the towering media presence he once held and the more subdued public role he occupies today. It is a reminder of how quickly prominence in modern media can evolve. Still, O'Reilly's legacy remains complicated and undeniably significant. His influence on cable news format, opinion-driven programming, and political media style is widely recognized, regardless of where viewers stand on his work. Few broadcasters have shaped the tone of an era quite the way he did. In the end, his story is less about a single moment and more about the fragile nature of media fame itself. Careers built over decades can pivot in a matter of weeks, and public figures often continue forward in ways that look very different from their peak years. And that leaves many viewers reflecting, not just on Bill O'Reilly, but on how quickly the media world can change. If you found this story thoughtful, feel free to share your perspective in the comments. If you appreciate respectful deep dives like this, you can like the video and subscribe for more stories told with care.